On this part, we're going to fix the all links table, where we're going to show the user full name instead of the user ID. And for that, we need to first update the data that we want to get from the database and then update the UI as well. Now, what we want to do in here is that, similar to what we did on last part, we want to include the user for the URL. But for the user, if I just go to the Solution Explorer, and then I go to data, and then just to check the models, for the user, in the user table, you can see that I have created this property, which is not really related like directly to the model. And what I mean by that is that, for example, for this model, I have these three properties which have been converted to database table columns. This one in here is not a representative of a column in the database table, but instead is just a navigational property. Now, the navigational properties are used to get child or parent data of a model. What we need to do is that we need to go to the URL and also define a navigational property for the user. So if I just go to the model here on the URL, then I have the user ID down here. It's going to type public user, which is going to be optional because I've set the ID as optional. So this is going to also be optional. And then user get set. So all the properties up here, all these other properties are model properties because I use these properties to basically just create table columns. But the other one is of type user, which is another model, which means that this is going to be a navigational property. So basically I can use this property to get user data for this URL. Let us just go back to the controller. And now in here in the URLs, I'm just going to type .include. And I'm going to include the user property. Now in here we need to update the select in here so we can actually get the data of the user as well. Now for that, I need to go to the get URL VM. In here, I'm going to create another property, which is going to be of type, let's say, get user VM. But I don't have the get user VM view model. So I'm just going to create that one first. Add a class. I'm going to name it get user VM. And this is going to have, let's say, just public int ID get set, then public int full name get set. So now let us just go to the get URL VM. And here we're going to define that the get URL VM is going to have public get user VM and then user get set. So let us save the changes and then let us just go back to the controller. In here now, I'm just going to type that the user is going to be a new get user VM. And the data will be from the ID and then url.user.id. And the full name is going to be from url.user.fullname. Now here we can see that we have an error. And the error says that string cannot be converted to integer. That is right. If I go to get user VM, this needs to be an optional string. Let us go to the URL controller. And now you can see that the error is gone. Now in here, if you want to improve the solution, what you can do is that you can add a null check. So for example, if the url.user is different from null, then we want to get the user VM. Otherwise, we can just get an empty get user VM, or you can just go to get URL VM, make this value nullable. So use the question mark. And then in here, set the value to null. And here, let us just go to the views. For that, just right click and then go to view. Then let us scroll down. And here on line 36, instead of showing the user ID, we're going to check if we have a user data. So add and then open and close parentheses. Then url.user is different from null. I want to show the url.user.fullname. Otherwise, I can just display a dash inside double quotes. Let us save all the changes and run this project. Here now, let's go to all links. And now in here, you can see that for the first link, because we did have a user ID, we have the full name. For the second one, we have the dash.